Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Alumni Weekend kickoff, which starts with this leadership welcome in Town Hall. We welcome all of our alumni who are on, our students, faculty, and staff who are joining us today. We look forward to sharing the screen for about an hour with our deans from the three schools, School of Medicine, School of Nursing, School of Health Professions, to update you on the statuses of our schools and our campus, as well as to take questions from you that might engage you in an update on what's going on at KU Medical Center. My name is Rob Samari. I'm currently the Executive Vice Chancellor of the Medical Center. I'm an alumnus from the class of '86. And as such, I'm also celebrating a reunion today of 35 years since graduation of medical school. We'll be hosting a small reception for our class later today. So we are excited to do that. Before the deans have a chance to share the highlights of the schools, I thought I would take a few moments to update on some broader community and institutional campus-wide activities. I would start by saying that I think this time in our history at KU Medical Center, we have arguably the most resilient and outstanding faculty and staff that we've ever had. We have some of the finest facilities for education that not only are present on our campus, but nationwide. I believe they are setting the standard for educational facilities nationwide. I believe our recognition, both in the area and nationally, has never been better. And our deans will highlight some of the really outstanding recognition that we've had in the past couple of years. And finally, I think we have an incredibly diverse and talented leadership team that is making incredibly good decisions, forward thinking for the university and the medical center. And so I think this is a very exciting time on each of our three campuses and amongst our schools and within the institution in 2021. Now, we all look forward to being in person. We did the sort of then and now discussion with current students in the class of 50 years, and it went great. It's just not the same as being in person. We look forward to being in person in the future as we do this. Now, my remarks are really going to focus on where we've been in the last 18 months with COVID, because it has impacted all of us so greatly. In March of 2020, we went from a diverse learning program that included distance learning and on-campus learning and diverse clinical settings to reacting very quickly to manage the health challenges in front of us. Our strategic plans and our operational plans had to be adjusted to the new challenges of this pandemic. We really focused on three areas. The first was safety, the second was continuity, and the third was our partnerships. In terms of safety, our safety was really focusing on the safety of our students, faculty, and staff. We had to put distance learning programs in place. We had to change the campus to make it safer. We had to put standards in place for distancing and use of classrooms, masking, hand washing, et cetera, in those earlier days. We've done a good job. Our students have been safe. Our faculty have been safe. We've had a few cases that, touch wood, have not been had significantly bad outcomes for students, faculty, and staff. We've been very lucky, and our students and staff and faculty have all been highly resilient and have been supportive of the measures we have put in place. It's not been easy. We traded the safety issues for COVID for issues of mental health and behavioral challenges that we face in isolation in our homes and in our families and working at a distance. We had a student say it's very different when you're not only getting up in a room and from bed, but are in class in that same room with your unmade bed behind you all day long, and not seeing other students. And we've had the challenges of the pandemic of behavioral concerns and mental health concerns, and have tried to deal with each of those as they have come up. So we have been very focused on safety. It remains our most important goal of getting through the COVID crisis, and we believe we've done so very well. In terms of continuity, I think the fact is that we are the pipeline. We are the supply chain for medical professionals throughout the state and throughout our region. And it was important for us to continue the pipeline. It was important for us to continue classes. It was important for us to continue graduation. And it was important for us to get new students in to meet the ongoing needs of our healthcare environment. It's not a surprise to anybody on this call that the front lines of healthcare in the United States have been greatly challenged, whether it's the staff in the ICU, or whether it's nursing on the front line, or whether it's health professions, both in the hospital and the community. We have all been challenged. We've had attrition, people leaving healthcare for a number of reasons. And we've had the challenges that I suggested with wellness and burnout amongst the front lines. If the pipeline didn't continue, we would have major problems. And so the pipeline was a very much of a focus on us. We graduated our class in 2020. We graduated our classes in 2021, and we have filled our classes right behind each one of them with eager students to join the front lines in the pandemic. And in many ways, we are providing the hope for health providers in the region, across the state, that there will be workers coming to continue the fight in this pandemic. And we take that challenge very greatly. And finally, in terms of partnerships, we have a series of very strong partnerships with our health systems across the state, from Wichita to Celina to Kansas City and across the region. And we've taken each one of those very seriously, and partnering with COVID guidelines and trying to understand their unmet needs, and trying to continue to get our clinical learners into clinical learning environments. And now it's understanding what vaccine mandates or actions or use of N95s in the health care systems. And I would say our relationships with our health partners across the state have never been better. And as such, we are in very good stead with continuing our partnerships across the state. So with a focus on safety, continuity, and partnerships, our leadership team has been actively engaged in each one of those missions. And we've done so in many ways through the use of these new communication strategies. Each of the deans has used multiple communication approaches to deal with their student and faculty and staff. And at the Vice Chancellor's level, we have used town halls, first weekly, and now every other week or monthly. But I think we've had about 70 open town halls for the students, faculty, and staff on campus. And that's answering widespread questions. It's providing new updates. It's answering and refuting myths and misconceptions. It's been very important to us. And it has become second nature for our leadership team to have this sort of town hall that we're doing today. And we've received incredible support from our most important partners in Lawrence through the Chancellor. We have provided medical advice and background to the pandemic advisory team, medical advisory team that he put into place. Each of the deans has played an important role in providing support for safety of their students, and obviously working very closely in Kansas City with our friends and colleagues at the University Health System in both communication and healthcare. The broader institution has helped our state and our communities in so many ways. We're providing providers, some of whom are key educators and researchers, and nurses and health professionals. We are directly providing care in many of those settings. We're also providing an important source of public health information. I'm sure Dean Ojo will talk about that as part of his update from the School of Medicine. And very importantly, and perhaps under-recognized, it's really been many of our faculty who have served at the front line of community health provision and county health provision across the state. And one of them, Dr. Jen McKinney, who's receiving one of our awards today, is exemplary of those on the front line of our community health and county health departments. I would say that besides university president, which I think is a really tough job, Dr. Gerard has done an outstanding job with, I think our county health commissioners and our school board leaders have been some of the most under-recognized and most challenged folks in our communities. And we provide some of those leadership in Wyandotte County and Johnson County and Celina County and Sedgwick County and Dr. McKinney in the southeast part of the state. So I think our university, the medical center, has been a leader in provision of public health information, which has been so critical across our state. And who would have thought that it would have been so controversial in areas of really clear and defined science. I would say that this era of the pandemic has crystallized the clear role of healthcare professionals in not only caring and curing individuals, but really, and I don't think it's a stretch, have saved the planet, have really saved the planet during this pandemic. And we are so proud to be part of this broader community of healthcare professionals, educators, and scientists who have really taken on the task of saving our planet from one of the world's history's great pandemics. And at the same time, and aligned with what we're doing today as part of our Alumni Day, we have also taken the opportunity to celebrate some critically important roles of KU alumni in this role of, if you will, saving the planet. We celebrated several years ago the distinguished medical alumnus, Mark Dennison, who was a physician scientist at Vanderbilt, who shared with us on a town hall early in the pandemic his commitment to study the coronavirus back when coronaviruses were thought to merely cause some flu-like illnesses and cold of really little concern. And he shared with us his period where he went through the possibility of giving up his scientific efforts because of the lack of interest in coronaviruses. And now Dr. Dennison at Vanderbilt is one of the world's most expert coronavirologists who has led the work into understanding the replication cycle of coronaviruses, which has led directly or indirectly into today's very exciting announcement of a new drug that may have significant impact that was announced by Merck this morning, an impact in preventing severe illness and death in coronavirus. And Mark's involvement with the development of remdesivir was critically important. So our alumni have been leading some of the edges in the development of the understanding of coronaviruses, but also some of the treatment. And then, of course, this spring we celebrated with Dr. Barney Graham, a graduate of the medical school class of 1979, and a guy who grew up in Paola, Kansas, who was really the architect of the coronavirus vaccine as he served as the as the director of the Vaccine Research Center at the NIH. So Dr. Graham had been studying vaccine development for decades and had been prepared through collaborations and zone work to get the sequence from China of the coronavirus, and within hours and days came up with a strategy in partnership with Moderna, and then through an unbelievable story of his college classmate who was running the program at Pfizer Development, shared information that directed Pfizer to use a strategy much the same to develop both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine. And this strategy has been the backbone of every vaccine, coronavirus vaccine development, but for the AstraZeneca vaccine, which chose a different strategy. And Dr. Graham was here with us in Kansas City and in Lawrence, receiving the honorary degree, and to see his impact and the impact of his team in a very short period of time was really, really amazing. So in a day that we begin to celebrate our alumni, it's fair to say that we are so very proud of each and every one who has taken part in dealing with this COVID pandemic in whatever way, shape, or form you've done it, and realize that you're amongst many who led the response worldwide into dealing with this. And so we are very proud of the people who are with us, and we're very proud of the people that have been, who are alumni of our medical center. And with that, I am going to turn over to Dean Akinlolu Ojo, who is been Executive Dean of the School of Medicine since August of 2019. So as such, he's beginning his third year on campus. We have been delighted to have Dean Ojo, and we look forward to his comments. Dean Ojo?
Thank you very much, Executive Vice Chancellor Simari. Good morning, everyone. I am pleased and privileged to join the celebration of the Alumni Reunion today and during this weekend. Despite the adversity, the humongous adversities over the last 18 months, in the last year, the School of Medicine continued to march forward as we work to fulfill our mission. And that mission is to improve lives and communities in Kansas and beyond through innovation in education, research, and healthcare. In this mission, the School of Medicine strives to produce well-prepared graduates through accredited program and innovative programs. It is in this spirit that I want to start by noting that in May of this year, we graduated the first cohort, the leading edge of the ACE curriculum. The active learning, competency-based, and excellence-driven curriculum that was inaugurated with the incoming class of 2017 under the leadership of Executive Dean Samari at that time has been described as one of the foremost transformative medical school curriculum in the country. Through the efforts of our dedicated faculty, staff, students, and alumni, we completed the last academic year in time. And we also welcome in July this year, 211 medical students, the incoming class of 2021. And there are several other great accomplishments of the last year. One is the fact that we received the highest national recognition to date, achieving a ranking of number 9 out of more than 180 medical school programs in the US News and World Report 2022 ranking for primary care. That ranking of number 9 is ahead of any other medical school in this region and clearly demonstrates that we are at the top in terms of producing individuals who are experts in primary care. Secondly, our physician scientist program, the MD PhD program, received NIH funding in 2020. And in 2021, the NIH expanded the program by increasing the number of slots by 40%. We are one of 50 medical schools in the country with an NIH-funded MD PhD program. We have also made progress in reducing medical student debts through increase in scholarship for our medical students due to the generosity of you, our alumni, and other philanthropic organizations and individuals. During this last year, our School of Medicine faculty published 7 peer-reviewed manuscripts every day of the week. That is 1,519 peer-reviewed manuscripts, 111 book chapters in 1 year. During this last year, School of Medicine faculty received $110 million in extramural research funding, most of which is from the NIH. And on October 4th, that is on Monday, we will begin our LCME reaccreditation survey with a site visit lasting 2 days. Our faculty, medical education leaders, staff, and students on the 3 campuses are well prepared, and we are confident that we will have a successful reaccreditation survey this year. We are very grateful for your support and the continued engagement of our alumni as members of the medical school community. I wish you a safe and enjoyable Alumni Reunion Weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean Ojo. And we know that with the LCME headed here next week, we know you've got a busy day today and a busy weekend. And we Thank you for your leadership, and we will be taking some questions towards the end. So we look forward to you sticking around and taking some questions with us. We're really delighted to now introduce Dean Sally Miliski of the School of Nursing. And Dean Miliski, I believe, is somewhere in the early or the mid part of her sixth year here at the sixth year at the medical center. So Dean Miliski, an update on the School of Nursing, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Samari. And thank you all for being here with us today, even though virtually. You know, it continues to be quite a time for all of us. But even so, I am really happy to say that through the combined creativity, resilience, and dedication of our faculty, staff, and students, we are able and continue to be able to provide our students with very high quality learning experiences that really ensure them, that enable them to successfully meet their required competencies, to graduate, and to successfully enter the healthcare workforce at all levels where they are very, very much needed today. In June of this year, we graduated a total of 203 BSN prepared nurses. And that was from our traditional BSN program, our RN to BSN program, and our KU Community College Partnership Program. We also had 11 master's graduates and 4 PhD graduates, which we have worked to increase because in addition to needing more nurses, we need more nurse educators in order to keep that pipeline going, as Dr. Samari said. So we are very proud of our 46 BNP graduates, our advanced practice providers, again, adding to that healthcare provider workforce. We're very proud to say that our 2021 graduates, despite getting their education through this pandemic period, our BSN graduates on both campuses achieved a 93% first-time NCLEX pass rate. And our BSN program, in the first time ever that the US News and Health Report ranked BSN programs, was ranked 22nd in the nation of public universities. We also, over this past year, added a master's and a certificate program in health informatics. And as new programs, we will see those grow and expand as we contribute to the health and well-being of Kansas and beyond. In our BSN program, we continue to have 4 applicants for every 1 seat that we're able to admit to. And this is despite now having admitting cohorts of 114 in Kansas City and 24 in Celina. As mentioned earlier, the Celina Health Education Center has expanded, and that expansion is beautiful, to accommodate the increase in enrollment on the Celina campus. Our PhD program admission rate grew from 3 to 11 this year. And our KU Community College Partnership Program has now graduated over 100 new BSN prepared nurses since its inception. We continually look for ways to contribute to the healthcare workforce, as we are facing an urgent and growing shortage of both nurses and healthcare providers in the state and in the nation, especially in our rural areas. We seek to address this need with our doctoral and postdoctoral programs specializing in rural health nursing, along with a summer elective that was started this past summer on the Celina campus that focuses on rural health at the BSN level. Additionally, we are very grateful to have received a very generous gift from an alumna and philanthropist that has enabled us to recruit a new endowed professor in rural health nursing, who will be part of our Celina campus and greatly expand our research and our educational capabilities there, focusing on rural health. Our researchers have submitted over 58 proposals over this past year, with 32 primary submissions, 20 subcontracts, and 6 internal positions. We're really looking at growing our research portfolio. We had our researchers received over $3 million with 22 externally funded grants over this past year. We as a school have funded 5 faculty pilot awards, and as well, our faculty have been awarded 6 KUMC internal grants, all of which position us well to expand our research portfolio in areas such as oncology-related studies, symptom management, studies that are looking at platelet mitochondrial exposure. Excuse me, I did that wrong. Platelet mitochondrial function as a biomarker for cardiac function, residential environment exposure for adults with asthma, Alzheimer's and dementia care, managing patient bias in the clinical setting, nursing quality indicators, and the impact of COVID-19 on nurses, and many, many more areas, a wide range of diversity of involvement in research here. So our innovative activities are also continuing to grow. We now have consulting contracts with over 10 universities and colleges, and these contracts are related to our concept-based education curricula and our KU Community College partnership programs, as others across the nation want to institute this type of curricula and these programs. We are working with T-Mobile on the design for the use of virtual reality and augmented reality applications, which hold great promise for revolutionizing nursing education, especially remote education, as we move forward. And we have several software applications in various stages of development. So with all that, and with much gratitude and pride of our alumni, I hope you can see that your KU School of Nursing has not just survived this pandemic, but is thriving. So thank you, and rock chalk.
Thank you very much, Sally. Really exciting time in the School of Nursing, and we so appreciate your leadership. We're now going to turn to Dr. Abiodun Akinwuntan to bring us up to date with School of Health Professions. Avi has been with us just about the same time, in the middle of his 6th year, and we're delighted to have him here today to share with us an update on the School of Health Professions. Avi?
Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this program. And I really want to extend a special appreciation to all our alums who have continued to be huge supporters of the School of Health Professions, and as well as a huge appreciation to all the alums from the other schools as well. I think together we have been one formidable institution that has continued to move the needle on several fronts. You've heard a lot from Dr. Simari, our Executive Vice Chancellor, and from Dr. Ojo, as well as Dr. Maliski. Well, I would use this opportunity to present what we have been able to accomplish as a school in the last 5.5 years. Dr. Simari said it rightly, I'm in the middle of my 6th year, and I've had time to reflect on how far we have come in 5.5 years. Within that time frame, we have developed 8 new programs, 1 that is the first of its kind in the United States, and 2 that are the third of their types in the United States and the first in the Midwest. We developed 3 new transdisciplinary combined degree tracks and continued to maintain very high rankings in amongst public institutions in the United States. As a matter of fact, 4 of the 5 programs with a rank mechanism in the School of Health Professions are ranked in the top 10, and 1 ranked number 14. It's been the hard work of faculty and staff who have continued to work relentlessly and tirelessly to ensure that we offer the best learning experience to our students. We're proud to say for 7 consecutive years, we have continued to increase student enrollment from 625 in 2015 to 767 in 2021. And we are on a trajectory to continue to increase our enrollment. As the school continued to grow, there was the need to create associate dean's positions. And with the help of the institution and the support of the leadership, the school was able to create 3 associate dean positions. And those are the associate deans for research, student and academic affairs, faculty practice, and community engagement. During the pandemic specifically, we were successful at recruiting 19 full-time faculty and 10 adjunct faculty, as well as 11 admin staff and 13 research staff. Next slide, please. Another area of tremendous growth is a 17-fold increase in our NIH funding, which saw our total research portfolio grow from $1.4 million in 2016 to $24 million in 2021, and it is still growing. We've had a record number of grant submissions, and we have continued to publish as many articles as we can. To make this possible, we have renovated laboratories, and thanks again to the leadership for providing funds with which we renovated our laboratories so that they can continue to do groundbreaking research. All of these have seen our NIH ranking for schools of health professions go from 21 in 2016 to 15 as of 2020. Over the last 5.5 years, through your generosity, alums, and the generous donors, we have been able to raise $10.4 million in gifts. As a way of celebrating and appreciating the accomplishments of our colleagues and faculty, staff, and students, we started a From the Dean series. And the last edition of the From the Dean series is the 290th publication since February of 2016 that it started. And so far, we have 6 publications of the SHP newsletter called The Insider. Next slide, please. So again, you can see we continue to make progress and we continue to grow on a lot of levels. Ongoing activities, we are working seriously towards having the first center in the School of Health Professions, which for now we have given a name, CLIMB, because you can see we keep climbing, we keep going up the ladder. And so CLIMB seems the appropriate acronym for the Center for Lifestyle Intervention and to maximize healthy behaviors. We're creating more physical presence for the School of Health Professions. We're working with the institution to see how we can best accomplish that, since we're scattered all over campus right now. And most importantly, we're increasing scholarship opportunities for students, including pipeline scholarships, to help persons from underserved backgrounds and minority population to be encouraged to enroll in our programs and benefit from the fantastic learning experience in our school. We continue to maintain our academic research and practice progress, And we hope certainly that the next 5 years, we will have much significant growth to report in alignment with what we have just listened to. Next slide, please. So again, like I said, in the next 5 years, we already have some projections. They may seem ambitious, but I work with a group of highly talented, dedicated, and motivated colleagues that I am confident that we have a very good chance of accomplishing these goals that we have set for ourselves come 2026. And that is to continue to increase our student enrollment to where we get to our 1,000 mark. That would be a significant landmark. To continue to maintain our program high rankings and accreditation, because we do not want the growth of our student enrollment to dilute the quality of the programs that we offer. Again, to increase our NIH funding from a total portfolio of $24 million to $32 million. When we look in the past and how much we accomplished in the last 5 years, this seems really reasonable, and we hope we can accomplish it, which will see our NIH ranking for the schools of health professions go to become one of the top 10 in the country. And we will continue to work for better visibility for the School of Health Professions and hope that the CLIMB Center eventually becomes a reality. Right now, we have student scholarships totaling about 291,000. We hope to almost double these or go as high as 500,000 come 2026. Again, we count on your continued support. We count on your continued generosity, because without you, the alums, it would absolutely be impossible to accomplish some of these goals, and if not all of them. And on that note, I really want to say a big thank you again for your continued support. We are proud to be associated with you, just as you are proud to be associated with us. And we wish all of you and all the alums from the other schools a very wonderful week of celebration. Rock chalk.
Thank you very much, Abiodun. And this is a great time if those who are on with us want to ask any questions of myself or the deans or anyone else, that be happy to try to answer those. I think this theme that resonated from the three deans was really one of pride in their organizations and importance of the engagement with alumni through multiple mechanisms. Abi, you've had a successful board of advocates that have included alumni. Can you maybe explain how that's been important to your school moving forward?
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Samari. We are extremely proud of our board of advocates, who are predominantly made up of alums and friends and supporters of the institution. And we will be having our fall meeting next week. The impact of the board of advocates on our school cannot be overemphasized. They have significantly risen up to the challenge of being true advocates for our programs. They have continued to help, especially during the One Day 1KU. They have continued to significantly give in a boost to our fund drives that has continued to help us increase our scholarship to students in the program. Another area of significant growth impact that the Board of Advocates have made is continuous generosity towards supporting our desire to make our students have international transcultural experience and have the opportunity to visit other countries as part of their academic experience while they are with us. And our Board of Advocates have been very, very supportive of that. And a good number of them have actually been direct sponsors of such visits. So the Board of Advocates, as the name implies, have continued to be our biggest advocates out there. And just to end it by saying, they have continued to help us open doors that otherwise would have been impossible for us to access, not to talk of open.
Yeah, that's such an important feature. And you know, we're all alumni of different organizations, and sometimes alumni value to the organizations is only directly related to the amount of lifetime giving. And I think while giving is really, really, really important, there are other ways for our alumni to impact our schools in important ways. Sally, it seems to me that the alumni network, particularly has really bolstered the Celina campus, both in the Celina community and the faculty. Do you want to maybe make some comments on how important the School of Nursing alumni were to the development of the Celina campus?
Oh, absolutely. The Celina community and our alumni, not only in the Celina area, but across the state, were hugely supportive. And indeed, we probably, well, I know we would not have been able to stand up that campus in the time that we did without the support, not just financially, but the support in advocating for having a School of Nursing join the School of Medicine in Celina. The support has been extraordinary. And in addition to that, our alumni are playing a very important role in our, not only in our celebrations, let me say it that way, but also in our Nightingale ceremony and in graduation. They are very much involved there and help make those very special events. But as we are initiating 2 pathway programs, starting to work with high school students and mentoring them through successful application and completion of nursing school, our alumni have been involved, have been supportive in providing scholarships for these students who will need that support. And we will be calling on them to help with some of the mentoring of these students as they come through the pathway program, as well as the networking that they provide, that our alumni provide out in the community for our students and new alumni as they graduate and move into the workforce. That network is incredibly important and supportive.
Oh, thank you very much, Sally. Dean Ojo, the Medical Alumni Board has been very active and you meet with them on a regular basis. What are the topics that are of most interest to the Medical Alumni Board and things that you're working with them on currently?
Thank you very much, Dr. Simari. The Medical Alumni Board continues to be strongly supportive of medical education scholarship. There is an existing fund and endowment provided by the Medical Alumni Board that support medical education scholarship for our faculty, and it also supports our medical education research interest group. As you know, the Medical Alumni Board was also instrumental in helping us to build the new anatomy lab that was opened in time last year for the Alumni Reunion Weekend last year. It is a state-of-the-art facility that also included augmented reality function that is also available on the 3 campuses. In addition, the Medical Alumni Board continues to look for ways to enhance scholarship funding for our students through the effort of the board itself, as well as individual members of the board making scholarship contributions.
Great. Thank you so much. You know, there's so many ways to engage as alumni with our campuses, and obviously we need as much public support in the state for higher education, and so our alumni working either through the PAC that's set up for higher education, or whether it's individual comments, would be grateful as we try to retain our support and funding through the state to do the things that we want to do. Jordan, would you mind putting up the link for the anatomy lab virtual tour that's available today, in case people want to take that? I'm not sure that everybody has that link available to them. But yes, Jordan, if you would share that, I would appreciate it. It would give people the anatomy lab for those of you who are my generation, or really any generation through here, since it started, would not recognize how beautiful the new laboratory facility, and that's on the 4th floor of Orr Major, which we've been really excited about opening in the last year. Jordan, are there questions from the audience that we can address?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. We're gonna, and I'm gonna end with a final question for our deans to sort of think about, and which is really the post-COVID question, which is what are going to be the features of the educational opportunities as we move out of this more acute COVID era into what might be perceived as more of a endemic or dealing with the virus long term. What are a couple of things on your mind about how we're going to emerge from this pandemic with new or different educational opportunities, or maybe some challenges that exist? I'm going to start with Dean Akinwuntan. Dean Akinwuntan, how do you see the post-COVID educational models in School of Health profession emerging?
Thank you very much for the question, Dr. Simari. I think there are 3 fundamental ways we see the future being shaped by the COVID experience. And one is the need to evolve into hybrid style programming that ensures that perhaps takes maximum advantage of the technological advancement to do online aspect of our academic programs at the homes and convenience of the students while they are engaged probably in other meaningful things and are on campus to do practical experiences and clinical rotations as needed and cannot be substituted with online learning. The other opportunity is to include telehealth training in our programs, because a lot of healthcare facilities are going to be adopting telehealth care management as it goes on, and we need to be preparing students who are very knowledgeable in the act of telehealth care provision. And finally, is to start anticipating some of the long-term complications of the COVID pandemic that are currently not being focused on in our academic programs. I think especially in respiratory care and in physical activities, how to manage effectively patients who have already compromised parts of their lungs and who are trying to function maximally with whatever is left of their lungs. And, so there's going to be, I think, a new plethora of different conditions that we have not otherwise focused on primarily before, that is going to come into the forefront of what we teach our students so that they can be prepared to treat patients with long-term consequences of the COVID pandemic.
Right. Sally, the future of nursing is going to be to deal with the outcomes of the pandemic. Yeah. How do you think education is going to prepare those future nurses as we come out of this?
Well, I think in addition to what Dean Akinwuntan said, those issues and learnings very much apply to nursing and nursing education. In addition to that, I think we've learned that we need to, with our learners, to focus more on resilience, on self-care, on stress management, as we've seen the toll that the pandemic has taken on our frontline workers, not only nurses, but respiratory care therapists and many others dealing with very acutely ill patients and much higher volumes of death. So I think that's going to be a much higher focus than it has been in the past of education, as well as mental and behavioral health and well-being. So I think that going forward, again, we've learned that there's a lot more that we can do remotely than we ever thought we could do in the educational space. And I think as we progress with augmented and virtual reality technologies, that will only increase. And our simulation, what we can do in simulation, the standardization of cross classes that we can provide with simulation when experiences or clinical opportunities may be limited, we have more options that we now need to explore and expand on. And I think we have to stay with our concept-based curricula. We need to and will continue to teach with concepts that are broadly applicable in many situations. And to that end, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing has just recently approved a new set of essentials for entry-level and advanced nursing that will guide nursing curricula in the future within several years. So exciting changes
exciting
coming forward.
times. Yeah. Ojo, I'm going to change topics a little bit. A question from the chat was asked about an update on the Will Body Silent Teacher Program in the Department of Anatomy, and was actually asking for names of the folks involved in that. Do you want to maybe update your understanding and leadership of the Will Body program?
Thank you very much, Dr. Simari. Our Will Body program has undergone extensive review, and we are making significant revisions to the program. We are in the process of embarking on a significant renovation of the facility to the tune of almost $500,000. At the present time, in order to be able to accomplish that renovation, we are currently using an off-site independent contractor to supply body for this year. We are moving the Will Body program into our medical education core under the leadership of the Senior Associate for Medical Education. And we anticipate that the program will resume in a much more improved facility, and it will continue to serve the needs of our medical school and other institutions that we have supported throughout the country.
So Dale Abrahams remains central to the effort, and the body program is active. They're being prepared at an outside site, but they are the bodies from generally from the state of Kansas. So it remains a very important feature at a time when many thought that prosection and dissection would go away. It's actually most schools that have turned away from it have come back, and we're still very grateful to folks in the state of Kansas for donating their bodies, and we are hoping to be even better partner and supporter of that through the updates that Dean Ojo mentioned. So we actually had the ceremony recognizing the donors. Was it 2 weeks ago, Ojo? Is really moving, where the first and second year medical classes come, and I've had family members tell me that was more of a moving tribute than actually the memorial service that they held on their own. It's a really, really important time. So thank you for that, Ojo. Are there, Jordan, are there any other questions?
There are no other questions.
Jordan, do you want to update anyone on the phone about the activities, including the awards celebration and other activities that are ongoing?
Absolutely. We have a couple of more great opportunities to connect this afternoon, where we'll be celebrating our alumni award recipients at 11:30. And then we have a simulation hospital viewing at noon with some of our faculty members from all three of our schools. We have a community impact panel that will be led by Dr. Alan Greiner and a few of our faculty members to discuss work that they're doing that's been impactful this past year during the pandemic. And then we also have a continuing education event this afternoon, as well as a cooking demonstration with the Department of Dietetics and Nutrition. So there are plenty of opportunities to tune in lot of different options. We have class reunion events kicking off tonight and tomorrow. So we are looking forward to celebrating with everyone with their different reunions.
Thank you very much. And if you get two messages from today, the first is we're exceedingly proud and excited of where the medical center is currently. And the second is we can only become better if we continue to fully engage with our alumni colleagues in whatever way, shape, or form our alumni feel that suits them best. And we greatly benefit from that. And the question of how to do so is it's always can reach out to one of the deans or myself or Jordan as a way to start. And we look forward to doing so. And we thank you for being here. And you know, we really truly hope that next year we can be in the same room and have these celebrations. So thank you very much. And with that, we will end the town hall and look forward to welcoming you at the other events throughout the day. Take care.
Thank you.